everyone, welcome back to our channel Assemble to Learn. Friends, in this video I am going to solve some numericals of physics which may come in our Physics exams. Today's topic is kinematics and we will cover questions from motion in a straight line. So friends, let's start our questions. Our first question is, a car runs at a constant speed on a circular track of radius 100 meter, taking 62.8 seconds for every circular lap. The average velocity and average speed for each circular lap respectively is. So we have to calculate average velocity. As we know, average velocity is equal to displacement by time taken. Here the track is circular and for every circular lap our displacement is here initial and final position is same for a circular track. So our displacement is 0 and time is 62.8, that is 0 meter per second is our average velocity. Now average speed. Average speed is distance covered by time taken. Distance covered is for a circular lap. For every circular lap, its circumference is our distance. So we can write 2 pi r. Distance covered is 2 pi r and time is 62.8 seconds. 2 pi r means 2 into 3.14 into value of pi 3.14 and radius is 100 meter divided by 62.8. So by solving 2 into 314 into 10, 6 to 8, we can write like this. Then 314 into 2 is 628. 2 and 2 cancel each other. We will get 10 meter per second. So our average velocity is 0 and average speed is 10 meter per second, which is given in our option number C, 0 and 10 meter per second. This is the correct answer. Next question is question number 2. A car moves from x to y with a uniform speed u and returns to x with a uniform speed v. The average speed for this round trip is, as we know, average speed is total distance covered by total time taken. Here the car is moving from x to y with speed u and from y to x with speed v, uniform speed at u and v. Now average speed is equal to total distance. Let this distance be s from x to y, so it will become s plus s, and time taken from x to y, time taken by car from moving from x to y is t1 and time taken by car moving from y to x is t2. Now as we know, speed is equal to distance by time taken. Time is equal to distance by speed. So here t1 is, this will become 2s and t1 will become distance by speed, means u, distance by speed, u, s by u plus t2 become s by v. So 2s divided by uv LCM s within bracket u plus v. Now s and s cancel each other. 2uv by u plus v is our average speed. So option number D is correct. 2uv by u plus v. Next is question number 3. If the velocity of a particle is v is equal to at plus bt square, where a and b are constants, then the distance travelled by it between 1 second and 2 seconds is. So b is given as at plus bt square. We know v is equal to ds by dt, which we can write ds is equal to v dt and integration ds 0 to s. Velocity, we have to calculate distance between 1 second and 2 seconds. So from 1 second to 2 seconds v dt. So s is equal to 0 to s is s minus 0. S is equal to v dt integration 1 to 2 at plus bt square dt. That implies integration of at dt is a t square by 2 plus b t cube by 3, limit from 0 to 1. Now 1 to 2 second, 1 second to 2 second. So a 2 square by 2 plus b 2 cube by 3 minus a 1 square by 2 plus b 1 cube by 3. Now 2 square is 4, 4a by 2 plus 8b by 3 minus a by 2 minus b by 3, which will become 4a by 2 minus a by 2, 3a by 2, and 8b by 3 minus b by 3 plus 7b by 3. 3a by 2 plus 7b by 3 is our distance traveled by the particle between 1 second and 2 seconds, and option number A is our correct. 3a by 2 plus 7b by 3. Okay. Next, question number 4. A particle moves along a straight line OX at a time t. The distance x of the particle from O is given by x is equal to 40 plus 12t minus t cube. How long would the particle travel before coming to rest? When it comes to rest, its velocity will become 0. And x is given as 40 plus 12t minus t cube. Particle is moving from O to x. So we know velocity is equal to dx by dt. That is, if we derive, then we will get 12 minus 3t square. Dx by dt is, if x is 40 plus 12t minus t cube, then dx by dt is 12 minus 3t square. 12 minus 3t square. Now, when it comes to rest, our v will become 0. That means 12 minus 3t square is 0. From this equation, we can find the value of t, that is 3t square is equal to 12, and t square is equal to 4, and t is equal to 2 seconds. Time period is given, we found the time, that is 2 seconds. Value of t is 2 seconds. Now, distance traveled in this 2 seconds, or distance traveled by the particle before coming to rest, is, we know the integration ds is equal to integration v dt. So 0 to s ds is equal to 0 to 2. Time is 2 seconds, 0 to 2 v dt. That implies s is equal to v dt. Value of v is 12 minus 3t square. 0 to 2, 12 minus 3t square dt. That implies s is equal to 12t minus 3t cube by 3, 0 to 2. So s is equal to 12 into 2, 24, minus 2 cube is 8, 8 into 3, 24 by 3. 3 cancel each other, and t cube means 2 cube, 8, 24 minus 8, and minus 0. If we put 0 over t, this will become 0, and t cube also become 0. This part also becomes 0. That means s is equal to 24 minus 8 is 16 meter. So option number A, 16 meter, is our correct answer. Next is question number 5. A particle moves along a straight line such that its displacement at any time t is given by s is equal to t cube minus 6t square plus 3t plus 4. The velocity when the acceleration is 0. This is the displacement. So we can find out velocity. V is equal to ds by dt, and after doing differentiation we get 3t square minus 12t plus 3. Then acceleration is dv by dt. Now again differentiating, 3 into 2, 6t minus 12. Acceleration is 60 minus 12. So according to question, velocity when acceleration is 0. Acceleration is 0 means 60 minus 12 is equal to 0. That implies 60 is equal to 12. That implies t is equal to 2 seconds. So at t is equal to 2 seconds, what is the velocity? So v at t is equal to 2 seconds is equal to 3 into 2 square minus 12 into 2 plus 3. It will become 2 into 2 4, 12 minus 24 plus 3. So 12 minus 24 is minus 12 plus 3 is minus 9 meter per second. When acceleration is 0, the velocity is minus 9 meter per second. Option C is our correct answer. Next is question number 6. A ball is thrown vertically downward with a velocity of 20 meter per second from the top of a tower. It hits the ground after some time with a velocity 80 meter per second. The height of the tower is, we have to calculate height of the tower. Suppose this is the tower thrown vertically downward with a velocity 20 meter per second. That means u is equal to 20 meter per second. Hits the ground after some time with a velocity 80 meter per second. V is equal to 80 meter per second. We have to calculate height. We know v square is equal to u square plus 2gh. As the ball is thrown vertically downward, here acceleration is our acceleration due to gravity, that is g. So v square is equal to u square plus 2gh. V square minus u square is equal to 2gh. That implies 80 square minus 20 square is equal to 2 into 10 into h. So 80 square is 80 plus 20, 80 minus 20, that is 2 into 10 into h. So 100 into 60 by 2 into 10, that is equal to h. So it will become 300 is equal to h. So height is equal to 300 meter. Option number D, 300 meter is the height of the tower. Next is, a ball is dropped from a high-rise platform at t is equal to 0 starting from rest. After 6 seconds, another ball is thrown downward from the same platform with a speed of v. The two balls meet at t is equal to 18 seconds. What is the value of v? The high-rise platform is there. At t is equal to 0, starting from rest, a ball is dropped. That means for first ball, u is equal to 0, and it will cover how much distance at t is equal to 18 seconds. You can calculate. So let's put t is equal to 18 seconds, u is equal to 0. S is equal to ut plus half gt square. That is s is equal to 0 plus half gt square, half into 10 into t, 18 into 18. Okay, like this. For second ball, downward from the same platform with a speed of v, u becomes v, its velocity is v, and after 6 seconds it was thrown. Means time duration to reach to meet another ball is 18 minus 6, that is 12 seconds. So s is equal to half gt square. S is equal to ut plus half gt square. S is equal to ut plus half gt square. That will become s is equal to vt, or you can write v into 12 plus half into 10 into 12 square. Then here s will become 12v plus half into 10 into 12 into 12. According to question, two balls meet at 18 seconds. That means both the distance covered by both the balls is equal. That is half into 10 into 18 to 18 is equal to 12v plus half into 10 into 12 into 12. So we can write this as 12v is equal to half into 10 into 18 square minus 12 square. That is 5 into 2 into 5 is 10. Then 18 plus 12 into 18 minus 12, which will become 12v is equal to 5 into 18 plus 12 is 30 and 18 minus 12 is 6. So v is equal to 5 into 30 into 6 by 12. 6 2 is 12 and 2 15 is 30, that is 15 into 5 75 meter per second. Option number A. Here option number A is correct, that is 75 meter per second. Next is question number 8. A ball is thrown vertically upward. It has a speed of 10 meter per second when it has reached one half of its maximum height. How high does the ball rise? So when it has reached one half of its maximum height, a ball is thrown upward, vertically upward. Suppose maximum height is h. So when it has reached one half of its maximum height means when it reaches up to h by 2 height, its speed becomes 10 meter per second. Here the u is 10 meter per second. Speed is 10 meter per second. So we know v square is equal to u square plus 2gh. Where the ball is thrown vertically upward, so acceleration is equal to minus g. So v square is equal to u square minus 2gh, acceleration due to gravity. Now at maximum height, v is equal to 0. So this equation becomes 0 is equal to 10 square minus 2 into 10 into h by 2. Why h by 2? Because we are applying this equation to calculate the distance covered from this position to this position. From half of the, when the ball starts moving upward from this position to final position, to maximum height position. In that case, the distance covered is h by 2. So 0 is equal to 10 square minus 10h. That implies 10h is equal to 100, h is equal to 10 meter. So total height h is equal to 10 meter. How high does the ball rise? The ball rise up to 10 meter. That is option number A is our correct. Next question is question number 9. The water drop falls at regular intervals from a tap 5 meter above the ground. The third drop is leaving the tap at instant. The first drop touches the ground. How far above the ground is the second drop at that instant? Suppose this is a tap and this is our ground level. So this distance is 5 meter. When the third drop is leaving the tap, this is third drop. At instant the first drop touches the ground. When the first drop is at the ground, the third drop is leaving the tap. So somewhere in between the second drop is there. So how far above the ground the second drop? We have to calculate that. So let's find out the first drop. S is equal to ut plus half gt square. Here u is equal to 0 and s is equal to 5 meter because it has completed 5 meter. It is in the ground. First drop is now in the ground. So 5 is equal to half gt square. That implies 5 is equal to half into 10 t square. That implies 2 5 is 10. So 5t square is equal to 5. That implies t is equal to 1 second. So it will take 1 second to reach the ground. To reach the first drop takes 1 second, and during that time third drop is leaving the tap. That means third drop leaves after 1 second of first drop. Third drop leaves after 1 second of first drop. That implies, therefore we can say each drop leaves after every 0.5 second, as according to question water drops falls at regular intervals. Water drop falls at regular intervals means each drop leaves after every 0.5 seconds. So in this 0.2 second, how much distance is covered by the second drop? If we calculate that, we can easily find out how far above the ground the second drop is present. So now distance covered by second drop in 0.5 second is half gt square that is equals to 1 by 2 into 10 into 0.5 into 0.5, 2 5s are 10, and 0.5 0.25 into 5, that will become 1.25 meter. S is equal to 1.25 meter. So it covered 1.25 meter. That means distance of second drop above the ground is 5 meter minus 1.25 meter, that is 3.75 meter. So the option number A, we have 3.75 meter in option number A, that is option A is correct. Now question number 10. A body dropped from top of a tower fall through 40 meter during the last 2 seconds of its fall. The height of tower. Body dropped from top of a tower. Suppose this is the tower. Body is dropped. Fall through 40 meter during the last 2 seconds of its fall. So height of the tower. We have to calculate height. Let height be h and TB time taken to reach to the ground. Initial velocity is 0, acceleration is g. So height h is equal to ut plus half gt square. That is ut is 0, u is 0, ut is 0. So h is equal to half gt square is the height. But according to question, last 2 seconds means, suppose this is the point and this is 2 seconds, it covers 40 meter. So this is t minus 2 seconds, this distance is t minus 2 seconds. So according to question, distance covered in last 2 seconds is 40 meter. Therefore we can write 40 is equal to half gt square minus the distance covered in this t minus 2 seconds, that is half g t minus 2 square. Half gt square minus half g t minus 2 square. That implies half gt square minus half g t square minus 40 plus 4. Now 40 is equal to half g common t square minus t square plus 40 minus 4. So t square cancel each other. It will become half into g into 40 minus 4. That is, if we take out 2 as common, it will become 2t minus 2 into g. 2t minus 2 into g is equal to 40. So 2t minus 2 into g is equal to 40. So 2t minus 2 into 10 is equal to 40. That implies 2t is equal to 4 plus 2, that is 6. So t is equal to 3 seconds. Time is 3 seconds. And we have to calculate the maximum height or height of the tower, that is h is equal to half gt square. So h is equal to half gt square. Here we put the value of t, half into 10 into 3 into 3, that is 2 into 5 10, and 5 into 3 into 3 9 into 5, that is 45 meter. So height of the tower is 45 meter. Option number B is our correct option. Next, question number 11. What will be the ratio of the distance moved by a freely falling body from rest in 4th and 5th seconds of journey? what will be the ratio? So 4th and 5th seconds of journey. We know there is a formula, distance covered in nth second of journey is Sn is equal to u plus a by 2n minus 1. And move by freely falling body from rest. From rest means u is equal to 0. Acceleration due to gravity, a is equal to g. So distance at 4th second is equal to 0 plus g by 2 into 4 minus 1. That is 2 into 4, 8 minus 1, 7 g by 2. As distance covered during 5th second is 0 plus g by 2, 2 into 5 minus 1. 2 into 5, 10 minus 1, that is 9 g by 2. And we have to find out the ratio of 4th and 5th second, that is S4 by S5 is equal to 7g by 2 divided by 9g by 2, that is 7:9. 7:9 means option number C is our correct answer. So friends, this is the last question for today. Thank you for watching. Do like, share and subscribe.